Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and today we're talking about a new feature coming to the Division 2 that everyone seems to have forgotten about. Now, what's funny is that usually when there is something definitive on a Division roadmap, people will talk about it, speculate, talk some more, and theorize what will come from it all the livelong day. However, ever since this particular feature was announced months ago, I think I could count on one hand the number of times I've seen it mentioned in community discussion. Now, in fairness, I think there's a couple of reasons for that. For one, this particular feature has to do with player customization and appearance, and while that certainly will interest a fair number of players, it's not as universally exciting for people as, say, a brand new piece of content. But probably the bigger reason this hasn't been talked about much, I think it simply got drowned out. This got revealed alongside the Year 6 announcement back in June at Ubisoft Forward, and I'm sure many of you will recall what was dominating every discussion forum back then. They're doing seasonal characters. Holy f***, the world is ending, everybody panic. Of course, I'm exaggerating, but there's no question that people's minds were preoccupied on other things. So it's not a huge shock that many have either forgotten or simply were never aware that with next season, Year 6 Season 3, we're set to receive the updated player expression feature alongside the release of the Brooklyn DLC. So, in this video we're going to go over everything we know about this upcoming new feature, and I'll give you some of my thoughts and speculation on everything we might see with it. Hopefully that sounds good, and without further ado, let's go. So, to get right into this, as stated, we first heard about this new updated player expression back at Ubisoft Forward, and we haven't heard much about it since. So, let's cover that initial info drop that we did get. In the Year 6 Roadmap and Plans article that Ubisoft published back in June, this was the blurb we got explaining what this feature would entail. Later in the year, we are thrilled to introduce an array of enhanced player customization features. The Division 2 offers a wide range of options to customize your character. To enhance your experience, we are excited to introduce a streamlined customization flow. This new approach will consolidate all customization features into a single, user-friendly interface, simplifying the process of personalizing your character to suit your style and make it more enjoyable. Furthermore, we are exploring new ways to showcase your characters in existing menus to allow you to proudly display your achievements. So, definitely some interesting propositions and details in here. In essence, like they explained, they want to streamline and simplify how we approach customizing our characters. And this certainly lines up with what we've seen the devs lean into over the past year or so in-game, which, as I'm sure many of you know, is store outfits and bundles. Now, I know a lot of people take issue with the frequency and price point that the devs have been releasing these at, which is fair. Microtransactions across the board are a less than ideal aspect of modern day games and game development, but that's an entirely other topic for another video. The facts are, many players get deep into the agent customization side of the game, and so the devs see it as being worthwhile to work on our ease of access to those customization options. Now, one interesting thing to note here is that with the Year 6 Season 2 update that we just got in the game, we already received what I would have imagined to be one big component to this updated player expression feature, and that was, how I'm sure many of you are aware by now, the devs made new slots within the apparel menu to accommodate the gear item skins they've been releasing ever since Season 9. Not only did this consolidate customization by moving that layer of outfit choice to the apparel tab instead of having it within our inventories, but it also removed the bug we'd long been plagued by where those specific skins would override other transmog selections. So, all of that is to say, I don't know if this particular aspect of things went into the game early, or if perhaps this specific change was not tied to the updated player expression, even though it seems like it would have been. But as we can see on the Year 6 roadmap, also published back in June, this new feature is slated for Year 6 Season 3, alongside the new DLC as mentioned. So, assuming there have been no changes, then this should still be something that we have coming up, and there should be further streamlines and changes on the way in relation to agent customization. If that is indeed the case, then I do have some ideas and speculation on what we might see. As far as further consolidation of customization features, there are definitely a few remaining appearance-related options that are quite hidden away and not too obvious for any newer or simply unfamiliar players. Those include the options like choosing whether or not to hide your specialization weapon on your backpack, as well as whether or not you want your gear mask to be permanently showing even when you're not in the dark zone. Those two options in particular are hidden within weird sub-menus, and I imagine that if they were more clearly integrated right into the apparel menu, that would help a lot of players out in not only making them aware that those options even exist, but also providing cleaner and easier access for everyone when and if they want to toggle those on and off. So that's one area that I imagine would be a part of this upcoming feature and change, but the other interesting part of the description we got of this was how the devs want to update existing menus and screens in the game to now incorporate and reflect our agents and outfits. That I'm definitely more interested in to find out what they might mean, and I think there's a lot of different ways that they could go about this. One idea that keeps persisting in my mind is how when you finish a countdown run, what if instead of just seeing a stats breakdown of how the run went, you also saw your agent standing or posing on one side of the pane? Or potentially even more interesting, it would show the player who had the best score and stats for the run. That could, in theory, offer a fun new incentive to perform well in these multiplayer PvE activities, for a chance to be featured in the spotlight at the end for the whole group. A small change in incentive in the grand scope, of course, but given what has been said, I think that is what the devs are going for, just leaning into and integrating all of these components a bit more than we currently see them doing. That is about all I've got for this one though, folks. A bit shorter of a video and topic than usual, but one that I definitely had wanted to tackle at some point. Again, because of how ironic I find it that an upcoming Division feature hasn't yet been widely speculated on and analyzed. But yeah, hopefully this was informative if you had not heard that this feature was coming up, or if you had, then I would be super curious to hear your thoughts on it down in the comments below. What kinds of additional enhancements or streamlinings do you think we might see when it comes to customization? What do you think or hope the devs mean by stating that they want to revamp certain menus to showcase our agents more? Definitely some different ways to interpret it all, so I'll be interested to see what y'all are thinking. That is going to do it for me today though, folks. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. RogueGold. Ow.